Introducing iSend. It is a backend as a service for all developers, especially if you're a front-end developer and you need to build full stack application without any knowledge of backend. Let's check the platform out. You can log in with your email easily, and you can as well sign up with your email with the click of a button. On logging in, for the first time, you'll be taken through the door where you learn about the basic things on the platform. The project is the application that you are trying to build. For example, you are trying to build an e-commerce platform. See iSend as a place where you can save your database records, and project houses your tables and your records. Your project also gives you access to generate forms by AI. Once you create a table schema, AI can generate HTML code that is integrated into iSend automatically. With OTPs, you can simulate sending OTP to your users and validating the OTP. You can perform all these through endpoints. And credit is what you pay for the services you are using on iSend. You have free credits every day, as you can see on your project card, to perform CRUD operations on your project. To send OTP and to use more CRUD operations, you would need to spend your credits. And to get more information, whenever you see this icon, you can hover on it to learn more about that particular item. And your API key is your access key. You need to treat it with discrete. We have two types of API key: the master API key and the production API key. We would explain that in another video more explicitly. In order to check out our first operation, which is projects, you have to click the plus button to create a project on iSend. Let's say, for example, e-commerce app. And once a project is created, users table is automatically added so that you can authenticate users. You have to take note of the project ID and the identifier, which you will be using in your API often in order to identify your project. Once you click on a table, you'll be able to see the endpoints which you would be integrating into your application. For example, let's check out our starter kit. You could see this is an endpoint to submit a contact message from the home page into iSend database. We should have it under our starter kit project, and we have the contact messages. Whatever a user sends from the front end enters into this table records. See this as a database manager, and you can filter it by several parameters. You can also create a new table easily by entering the table name. Let's call this products. Okay, let's go back to our starter kit project, e-commerce app, and let's create products. And in the products, we want to have the price, we want to have the title, we want to have the category, and we can create a table easily. With this, you'll be able to use it in your application through REST API, and this is an example of the endpoints which you can use with create, read, update, and delete. Next, you can simulate the experience of sending OTP or even generate endpoints to send OTP to your users from the dashboard. Using these endpoints, you can send OTP from any HTTP client that is used by JavaScript. And you can also simulate validating OTP by entering the code that is sent to the users. Note that the code is securely encrypted on our server. We don't have access to it. It is only the person that received the code that has access to it. And in funding your credits, it's simple and straightforward. If I'm to fund my wallet with 500 credits, clicking proceed to pay. And let's do this real quick, where I try to make payments. So right now I'm about to click on pay so that it can start processing my payment. I'm clicking payment right away. So we could see that the payment is processed almost instantly, and once the process is completed, it will redirect you back to your wallet page where you can see your balance that is updated. So let's wait for the process to be completed. Having completed the transaction successfully, we have our new balance with the updated balance. So here you can see the history of your transactions, of the credit that has been purchased in the past, and let's see what consuming credit looks like on iSend. If I'm to send OTP to a particular user, let me use SMS. And I click on send, a particular volume of credit would be consumed. I've received the OTP already. Let me just take us through validating the OTP so that we can be sure. So we have 760941, but I'll press 2 for us to be sure it's working fine. And it tells us, so this is just a simulated experience for you to know what it will look like when you are using it in your application. So you are charged for OTPs if you don't have credit on your account. And also, where you can learn about the application in general is the documentation section. So it has an high-level overview of all the endpoints that are currently available and the ones that will be added in the future. So it tells you about how to use the basic things in iSend, and it groups it by different categories. So next, we'll be going in depth on actually using the API key to perform HTTP operations.